Rochelle White, welcome. Pearl David, good morning. Shegun Fatuma, morning. Adeleke Adeni, Lola Shorunke, Benny Gift, Gbemi Orekoya, Omonike, Daniel Asenga, Ladi Shorunke, Joy Maduka, Mike M. Fries, Catherine Peters, Nikki Okoro, Mashu Esong, Dr. Bien Sufficient, Paul Awodele, Olukayode, Albertine, thank you, Jide Craig, Shegun Lawal, Fola Shade, Kike Adetiba, Joseph Kwanai, Nkiru Ojimatu. Let's quickly go and begin to share the link before we begin the message. So if you don't mind, let's go and look for the share button and share the link. Shibuzo Isaac, Gladys and Shank, let's go and share the message. Let's go and share the link as fast as possible. Kalepi Evans, Anastasia, Caroline. Let's go share the message. The faster the better. Okay. If you have shared the link, then we'll be ready for today's message. I think you have seen today's message. The title, things that women do that drive their husbands crazy. So, what do you think of a topic like that? Things that women do that drive husbands crazy. I think it will be interesting for the ladies to know what are the things that they do that they might not know might be driving their husbands crazy. And I think it will be a thing of joy for the men to realize that these things are being spoken about and that these topics are being raised. Things that actually they've been wanting to talk about for so long and have not been quite free to talk about it. And because if they talk about it, they think it's just them. And then the wife will be thinking, oh, it's because he's a failure, or he's not successful, or he has a problem, or he's this and that. But now that when you know that it is a problem for all men, that this is something that all men would like to talk about, it sounds a little bit different. It sounds a little bit different. Number one. So what is the number one thing? Kalepi Evans says, tell them, I wish my wife was online. Well, you can get the copy. You can share the copy and then play it sometime. Or send it to her to listen to later on. So, what are the things that women do that drive their husbands crazy? Number one, husbands don't like it when their wives are trying to enter into supremacy contest with them. Husbands don't like it when women are trying to prove something or to enter into a supremacy race, as we say it. So they don't, husbands feel like they feel irritated, angered, and annoyed when they see that their wife is trying to prove something to them from the side of, not from the side of pure logic, but from the side of, no, you don't know what you are doing. You are, you don't know as much as I do. Or, but the way it comes across to the man is that you are foolish. Let's just say the way it is. The man, she might not be saying that, but the man is hearing that you are foolish. You don't really know what you are supposed to know. You are not as you are not such a man as you are supposed to be. You are not. You are not in control as you think, as you might be thinking. You are just a husband by name. You are not really a husband in real life, and anything that a woman does that kinds of proves her supremacy. Anything that a man does, a woman does that kind of paint her in the picture as if she is better off or she is better than the man. It's not something that men like so much. Men don't fancy it at all. They don't fancy it, but they will repel it with everything they can, and they don't want to. That's one of the reasons why they don't like their wives to teach them, because teaching, when the lady is trying to teach and she's taking that to be like she's putting herself on top of him. He's taking that to be as if she's imposing herself, her will, her authority over him. And that's not what a husband wants to do. A husband has it at the back of his mind that he's the head and that he's the leader of the family. So, and even though he might be willing and he's ready to accept corrections and suggestions or wisdom from the wife, but is really not ready for himself to begin to think that he's worse or inferior to his wife. Yes, he might agree. He might agree that she's better than him in some things, but not for her to sit on top of the ladder and on top of the family, on top of the throne, and then be dictating to him how things are supposed to be and what she is, especially when she's using that opportunity to teach him, to correct him, and to tell him all the things that he's doing wrong, or constantly pointing out his failures and the things that he's not doing right, or things that are not working out for him. So that supremacy stance or rivalry stance from the woman is not something that the man appreciates so much. And especially it could be worse if it's at a time when the man himself is vulnerable. If the man is, let's say, jobless at that point, or he just lost his work or job, or maybe he's not working, or he's not doing well socially or financially, and then the wife comes across to begin to let him know that she's the one that is really have it made, and that she's the one that understands everything, and that she's the one that is smarter, she's the one that is wiser, and that she's the one that is really superior, and that that he should listen to her. Oh, those things just make the guy crazy. He might not always show it, but they don't make him feel at home. They don't make him feel as a husband at home, and they don't make him feel that it belongs in that family. So you ladies, I don't know how you look at this. I don't know how you view this particular point, but that's something very sensitive to the men. Okay, Monica said, Pastor Sunday, the men I know do not even allow a woman to control them. They don't even take advice from their wives. Well, yeah, that is another extreme when men are just totally domineering. But this thing I'm saying, it is also there. There are some men who are experiencing this, and there are some women who also know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe in your own case, you only know the strong men that are domineering and that are in charge. But I've seen all kind of relationships. I've seen all kind of men. I've seen men who have been placed, under the authority of their wives. Their wives manipulate them, and their wives try to prove to them that they are foolish or they are not as smart as them. And those things, they are not good for the men. Men are not supposed to be humiliated. Men are not supposed to be embarrassed. Men, and especially by their wives. Men can't stand that. Men cannot stand that. Men cannot stand it when their wives are putting them in a position of shame, in a position of domination, as if he's been dominated or he's been conquered. Men don't like to be conquered. Men are not supposed to be conquered. Even if they are conquered, they must be conquered only at war, at war in battlefield, but not conquered in the family. Now, not conquered by women in general or by a woman, especially not conquered by their wives. So a man does not want to be conquered. A man does not want to be subdued by anybody. A man does not want to be subdued by anybody, by anyone. So, but for the wife to, kind of make him feel like he's a failure, for the wife to make him feel like he's a loser, or for the man to make him feel, for the woman, for the woman, for the wife, the very wife, to be making him as the husband feel like he's a loser, for the husband to, for the wife to make him feel as the husband, to make him feel as if he's a failure, or a man cannot stand that. That is just very disruptive to the man. The man does not like that. That is, that is just killing to him. Now, Deborah is saying, but there are weak men who don't like or who don't have the ability to give order or to be the leader. Well, maybe, I'm sure there are men like that, but then that would demand more wisdom from the woman. That would demand more wisdom from the woman. The woman would need to have wisdom to still come across to him, not as being on top of him, not as ruling over him, and not as being in charge of him and being the one telling him what to do or telling him how to behave. But she should rather try to live with him with wisdom in such a way that he will not even suspect that she is the one in charge, but he will rather believe that he is the one that is actually managing the whole thing. So another thing that the next point, I think you got that point. The next point that the next thing that women do that drive their husbands crazy, I'm sure you got the first one. The second one might look a little bit similar or might sound a little bit similar, but it's a little bit different, not quite the same. Not quite the same thing, but it's still bordering on the ego of the man. And that is, the man doesn't like it. Men don't like it when their wives are treating them like a child, like one of their children. Sometimes, and I hear this a lot of women say, oh, my husband is just my first son. Oh, my husband is just my child. Oh, my husband is just one of the children. Even though he might laugh with you, even though he might joke about it, even though he might not show it that is demeaning to him, but that's not the best approach to a husband, really. You might want to treat him like a mother in the sense that like his mother treats him, but not treat him like a mother in terms of looking at him as one of the children. Oh, that is, for the man, that is just crushing. That is just totally crushing. That is just so destructive. To put him on the same level as the children, ooh, that is from a hero to a child. A man would not like to be in that place. A man would not be. The man would not like to be in that position. And yeah, and that is very popular. Almost everyone talks about my husband being my first son, my husband being one of my children, my husband being one of my sons, or my husband is just a child, my husband is just one. I think it works well for the ego of the woman. I think that is an ego thing for the woman. The woman wants to prove and show how well she's doing as the landlady and as a woman in charge of her home and as a woman in charge of her affairs, and that she's running her home very well. She's running her affairs like everything is okay for her. She's good, she's fine. And so she's, just using that to kind of, boost her ego and to, show how successful a wife she is and how, how much she's in charge of her family and how well she's doing. And, but women should be told that is not the best way to treat a woman. To treat a man. A man doesn't want to be just one of your children. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. A man doesn't want to be treated just like one of your children, like one of your sons. A man wants to be the head of the family. A man wants to be the husband. A man wants to be in charge. A man wants to be, his own man. A man wants to be the husband. A man wants to be the husband in the home. A man wants to be at least an equal partner, even if he's not going to be the head. Let him be an equal partner. But to reduce him to the place of a son or a child in the house, I don't think too many men will be happy with that. And maybe no man will be happy with that. Maybe not any man will be happy with that. So, you wives, you have to be wise in that sense. Don't treat your husband as a child, as one of your child, or one of your children. I know that there are some things you do that, is the same thing you do for the children, but you still have to do it to your husband with honor and with respect. And I also know that there are some things that the men do that reminds you of one of what the children do, and that almost make him to come across like a child. But you could tell him about it, or you might want him to change, but still don't relate to him like he's a child. Don't relate to him like he's a child or he's one of your sons. Even when you are trying to cater for him and things like that, still be careful about that. Catherine is saying, what happens when your husband is really like a child in his behavior? Well, you are supposed to have noticed that, my dear, in the very beginning. You are supposed to have noticed that and not marry a child. You are supposed to marry a son, or to marry a father. You are supposed to marry a real man. But since you chose to marry such a man that is a child, and you decided to make him your husband, then it's good for you to now, keep on treating him like a husband, right? Even if he's behaving like a child, because that's what you bargained for. And I think you should walk through it together. You should talk to him about it and let him know some of the things that he's doing that really don't sit well with you. And and maybe we'll try to work on it and be better. So, yeah. So that is another point there that it's important for the ladies to pay attention to. men might not be talking, but they don't like it. Okay, Monica is writing here. Pastor Sunday, some men don't take initiative. They are not responsible. That is when this happens. Because the wife says that the man does not contribute anything concrete until when she says it. For example, a man cannot even help in the house during the weekend because the house is not the place of it's not a place of it's not the place where the man is looking for fulfillment. A man is not looking out to the a house for him is a place more of rest and serenity, more like a place where he's manifested or where he is displayed or where he wants to come and do something. He does things more where he works. So, but if you need him to do anything at home, just tell him about it. Talk to him about it. She says he cannot even help at home during the weekends. But then you have to tell him to help you. The woman will be the only one to prepare the children and have their bath, go to the market, do the cooking, etc. The woman will give all the instructions. Well, that's why your husband must listen to some of these things we are teaching here this week. And another problem is that somebody is writing here, don't marry a baby husband. If you marry a baby husband, that's what you get. Yeah, someone is writing here, Elizabeth says, Pastor, I've seen some girlfriends telling their boyfriends to wash their hands after eating or something, after whatever, because they litter things around like a child. Well, you know what? That girlfriend will still go ahead and marry that man. And so she has to face that reality because she saw that while they were still boyfriend and girlfriend, and that's why she should know that will get worse once they are married. And but if she wants to begin to treat him like a child or like one of her sons, he's not going to like it, and that will not sit well with their family, with him, and that will not go well for their family. Okay, so those are some of two things that women do that drive their husbands crazy. Let me give you another one. That is, all these things you see, they border on the ego of the man. They border on the ego, around the ego of the man. Another thing that women do that drive their husband crazy, that really irritate and anger their husband, is when women compare their husbands with other men. When women begin to compare their husbands with other men, a lot of men don't like that. So if you see that he's not doing something very well, and you begin to compare him to his friends or to some other men down the street or to the neighbors or to even to your father or to your brother or something like that, men take that a little bit as an assault to their ego. Men take that as an assault to their ego. So men don't like it when you compare them to other men and when you begin to tell them that they are inferior. If you compare them to other men that they are better, they like that, yes. But if you begin to compare them and say they are worse, wow, they don't like that. They don't like that. So you don't want to do too much of that. You don't want to. It's all about ego. Yes, I understand. It's all about ego. Men have ego. Men have ego, and they like their ego, and that's one of the greatest demands of the man, to be respected, to be honored, Because, like I said, men don't have feelings. They only have 2 or 3 feelings. And the feeling of ego, pride, that's the main feeling a man has. Ego, and sex, and maybe physical hunger. So the man might be hungry physically, but that's more like pain. But the feelings that a man has normally is the feeling of ego and sex. Otherwise, men don't have all those feelings, hundreds of them, and man is not living in a rainbow world. He's living in the world of black and white. Either it's black when it's sex, or it is white when it is ego, or something, or the opposite. So comparing him to other men is not what a man would like to fancy so much. Okay, Davida is saying, ladies, we are not called to control our men. No one likes being controlled. Look for tactful ways to suggest changes if required. Appeal to their greatness while sleeping in your suggestions. Yep. Elizabeth says, I told a guy that he's the best man I've ever met. Well, I got some shower of surprises that month. Life in the world, yeah. When you praise him, when you use his ego to, as when you approach him by supporting his ego, it feels better. It feels better than when you are putting him down. Monica says, Pastor Sunday, thanks for so much for teaching. Now that we know, we will try and counsel the younger ones, and if we need to change anything, we will do. Well, that's good. That's good. Next point. What are the next what are the other things that women do that drive their husbands crazy? The next thing that women do that drive their husbands crazy is, how do I call that? Envy. It's being envious. If you are just, if your husband is working with other women, or just have friends or colleagues or partners who are women, or members or team members who are women, and you as the wife, you begin to be jealous and you begin to be envious of those women, and you begin to talk bad about the other women that are in the company or in the team of your husband, you'll be surprised, because your husband might turn around and actually support those women rather than you. Now, I know it is natural for the man to rather support the wife, but when a wife begins to suspect and be envious of an innocent lady in his team or around him, he doesn't take it lightly. He begins to think that you are the one that is having a problem, that you are always suspecting, that you are always envious of other ladies, that if it's not going to be that particular girl, that if it's going to be another girl, you are going to behave the same way, that you are going to be suspicious and envious again of them and all that, that I cannot have a female in my team, or I cannot have a female in my list, or in my list of friends, or in my circle of influence. And and women, they know what I'm talking about. Women have imaginations, and wide imagination sometimes. And so even when there is nothing happening, sometimes the woman could be suspicious and thinking that something is happening. And so, they might be raising an alarm because of that. So, in that case, the woman might be, envious or suspicious of the other girl or of the other woman that she sees around the husband. And, another thing with the woman is that a woman is looking at her husband as her property. She's looking at him as her thing, a man. And so she wants to be like that lion. You know the way the lioness does in the desert, in the jungle. The lioness protects her family, surrounding, and so it's a woman becomes like a wild lion or lioness when she's feeling threat to the peace and security of her home, when she's feeling that her home is in danger, or there is this other, there is the possibility, of another woman coming to take over her place. So she wants to defend. She wants to tear herself apart and really go and defend, her territory and what belongs to her. But it is, my advice to the lady is this: don't be outspoken about that until you have some facts. If you don't have some facts, it's better for you not to raise the topic, because if you raise the topic and they happen to be just friends or nothing really happening, he's going to brand you as somebody abnormal. He's going to brand you as somebody, that is just envious and jealous and suspicious, and it might even think that you are you are having psychiatric situation or some mental situation. So because if there is nothing happening and you begin to say and begin to cause trouble and challenge your husband that things are happening when things are not happening, he will think that you've lost your mind. But the thing is that the lady has not lost her mind. She just has intuition. And that's why, apart from the intuition, it is wise for the lady to wait for some facts. And now, there is another way. If you don't want, if it's difficult for you to wait for facts, there are some other ways that you could actually approach it. There are some other ways that a lady could talk to the husband about her suspicions and her fears. And that is by saying that you noticed some uncomely attitude or behavior from the side of the woman. So let's say you are suspecting the woman, and it's better than to say you are suspecting your husband. If you say you are suspecting the woman, and because you are a woman yourself and you are coming from that angle, that I'm a woman and believe me, I saw some things in her, and or I saw some of the things that she is doing that might put you in danger, or she's interested in you. Now, it's much more better for the man that way, to say that it is the other girl that is interested in him, and that it is the other girl that you are suspecting rather than him. When you say that it's the other girl that is interested in him and that she is the one you are suspecting, then that makes him to want to open his mind to you, and because you are in the same team that way, you are on the same side, and he wants to hear you out, and also he's happy that someone is interested in him. But when you now come from the other side and tell him that he is the one you are suspecting, that you are suspecting him, that he is having interest in the other girl, then that makes him, you put him in the opposition to yourself. You put him in the opposition to yourself. You make him your enemy. It means that you are attacking him now, and you are confronting him. That means that you are telling him that he is the one that is bad, and that he is against you. So you are putting him in the team with that girl. You are putting him in the same team with the girl, with the other girl. So the two of them are coming against you, and it is you who caused it, because you are suspecting your husband that was a team with you. You are now putting him out away, and you are saying you are with that girl, and you are interested in that girl. So the two of them now come against you. Even though you are the wife, you discover that your husband begins to side with that other girl and begins to come against you, that you are the one who has a problem. But if you come from the side of you being with him, that you just want to save him, and that you just want to help him to realize and to see what he is not seeing, and that you can see the other girl, that she is the one who is interested, because you can see some of her attitude and some of her behavior towards you, and that you are helping him. Then you are the same thing with your husband again. You are the same team, and then it's easier to when it's on your side, and when you are speaking the same language, it's much easier to let him see what you are talking about. Okay. Monica said, Pastor Sunday, I don't like a man to do that. Yes, I don't think any woman like a man to do that. I don't think there's any woman that wants a man to do that. Because the man may not know what the other lady's hidden agenda is. The woman may be smelling a rat. Instead of the man to be at the side of the other lady, he should just explain to the wife. Well, I just explained to you how it should happen right now. It depends on how the wife approaches and raises the issue. It depends on how you as the wife raise the question. If you are going to be suspecting him, then you make him your enemy and you put him in the same team as the other woman. But if you are going to suspect the other woman and really try to be on his side to defend him, then that puts you on the same team. Elizabeth is saying, Pastor, you are so full of wisdom. Some women have destroyed their wives as a result of not knowing this. Well, Kiru said, when I get jealous a little bit, which happens once in a year, I tell my husband when we get home about my feelings. It's not suspicion. I just need more attention, especially when we go outing among younger girls. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen all the time. And and that is being on the side of your husband. That's being on the side of your husband. Just make him to understand you and give you more understanding, more protection, and to just, let him know what you are feeling. That's much better. Okay. So what are the other things that women do that drive their husbands crazy? What are the other things that drive their husbands crazy? Another thing that women do that drive their husbands crazy is when a woman is... Okay, before I say this one, let me just read some of the comments coming here up about the jealousy thing. Let's finish that up before I go on. Gladys says, if a woman who is jealous at times, it is because our men make us to be, okay? Some men too don't know how to deal with female friends. It is good to put our relationship with females clear, as we know, so good women think differently. Those female friends may give a meaning to the closeness with your man. Yeah, that's true. That's so true. So the men also should behave well and cautiously with other women. That is the advice for the women, for the men. But since I'm talking to the ladies this week, so I'm just focusing my attention on the ladies this week. Elizabeth Olaoye says, what a woman will see while sitting down, a man will not see it even when he is on top of the roof. That's great wisdom there. Ushi Amadi says, suspicion has destroyed so many homes. It has made women to do things they shouldn't do. But a woman can see what a man cannot see. So a man should learn to listen to his wife. This has saved a lot of men from destruction as well. Okay, next point. What is the other thing that women do or that drive their husbands crazy? What is the other thing that women do that drive their husbands crazy? Another thing that drives husbands crazy is when women show too much weakness. When a woman is showing too much weakness, when a woman is displaying her complexes, when she's not fighting against her complexes, when she's not fighting against her weaknesses, when she's rather always crying. I mean, when she's a crying girl to the husband all the time, always crying with some weaknesses. Oh, I'm feeling bad today, I'm feeling bad tomorrow, I'm this, I'm that. Men don't like that. That's part of the thing that men call whining. When they don't like women to just, no man wants to marry a problem. No man wants to see that the only thing he has to deal with the wife is only problem about problem upon problems. So when women have challenges, it could be any kind of challenges. It could be health, it could be fears, it could be concerns, it could be family, it could be with their relatives, it could be with their parents, with their children, it could be with their work. Women have all kind of different fears. And when, she's always crying every day, every minute, and, it's like that's the only thing she's doing, it discourages the man. It discourages the man. The man will rather prefer a woman that is laughing and smiling rather than a woman that is crying every 5 minutes. So every woman have their own complexes. Every woman have their own issues, but it's not something that she should parade. Even though she might have her weaknesses, she might have her, weak points and loopholes, but she should not. She could share it with the husband. Not just be, I'm not saying you have to be strong at all every time and just be like you are a John Dark or something, and just say you are just strong. You never feel anything, and you don't have feelings. You are okay. No, you could share with him some of your concerns or some of your fears or some of your weaknesses or some of your challenges. But not all the time, not every day crying to him and, letting him know that you are having this problem or that problem, or you are sick, you are having financial problem, health issues, he will be thinking, oh, wow, maybe I made a mistake by marrying this woman. I didn't want to marry a sickler. That's what some people say in Africa. When she's sick all the time, he says, oh, I married a sickler. That's tragedy. We have to put her away from the house. And that's what they want to do. That's what the men want to do. They want to get rid of her. That she's always having problems. That she's never having one day without problems. And to him, that is stressing. That is stressing him out. And so he's saying, I don't want to have. He will actually be telling people that since I married that lady, I've not had a day of rest. I've never had a day of rest. I've only been going from one problem or the other. I'm tired. So I cannot do it anymore. So you don't want to be a burden to your husband. Don't overwhelm him with your issues and with your problems, especially those he cannot even understand. If you are crying, you could cry, but, not all the time on his shoulder. You might want to cry on your bed sometimes, or you might want to cry on your own. But don't show a kind of weakness, a situation whereby, every single situation you are crying. Even if you are crying on your own, that is not so bad. But if you are crying to him as if he has to do something about it, that is where he gets problem. If you are crying and pointing to the fact that he is the problem, or he is in charge, or he must be in charge of that situation, or he has to do something about you crying, that is the problem. But if he doesn't have to do anything about it, I'm sorry, but he doesn't really care if you cry or you don't cry. And he doesn't care so much. So if you want to cry, you can cry as if you are having the problem, but not as if he is to blame. But so if you are crying and you are complaining about the fact that he has not done enough, or he has to put him in a situation as if he has not done enough, or he has or he has to do more than he's already doing, that is what gets him crazy. But if you are just crying because it's your own problem and you are not accusing him of anything, and you are not pointing an accusing finger to him, at him, then it's okay with that. Then you can cry all you want. So as long as you are not pointing an accusing finger to him, or as long as you don't require him to do anything about it, and it's just your own, you and your cry, and he doesn't need to do anything about it, then he's not so threatened. He's not so threatened. So anyway, the bottom line is, don't overburden your husband with so many problems, with your problems. And you should share your problems with him, but not overburden him with them. Otherwise, it will feel like running away from the house. Okay, Paul is saying, Pastor, let's be honest. When a man comes home and doesn't talk to his wife, or is engaged in the home with her and the children, but in public, he's not engaged in the home with her and the children, but in public, is a popular bingo. He planted the seed of envy because she will question every relationship outside the home. Yep. Mashu said, in the beginning of our marriage, I used to cry a lot to gain my husband's attention. But then I discovered that it was not really working. Yeah, you see. Men don't like that. Paul says, putting your burden on a man all the time is like locking him out of the house, because who wants to come home to that? Yeah, you see. So that's just it. Gladys says, sir, I don't know how cry in the midst of a problem with my man, because before I bring up a reaction, I have tangible facts, and I would love from a mature man to his wife, knowing she has facts, is to say, my wife is, I'm sorry, I'm a human, forgive me, and it is well for me. But most men find it difficult to apologize to their wives. Women, we too should be matured before involving in marriage. It takes two mature people to handle marriage. Yep. Davida said some men get upset because the woman is not showing any sign of weakness. Yeah, it's true. So it means that she has to show some sign of weakness, be sincere, because then the man is thinking you are not sincere because you are not showing any sign of weakness. It means you are not sincere with him. You are not trusting him, and you are not looking forward to him. So he expects you to show some weakness, but not overshow it, not all the time. Crying and expecting him to respond. So that's another thing that ladies have to be careful about. Okay, next thing that women do that drive their husbands crazy. Nellie Brown is saying, thank you very much for teaching, Pastor, for this teaching, Pastor. It is clearer that in order not to become a complainer, I need to pick my husband wisely and also keep improving myself. Yep. Okay. Okay. Next point. Men don't like it when their wives are not really telling them what is on what they are thinking. And when, sometimes women would like for the husband to, come to guess, to come to the woman use some code, some language code, some speech code or figure of speech, and like not telling him directly what they want or what they want him to just come to just get to know by themselves. They just want the man to discover the things by himself, and they expect the man to find out what is happening. So women always speak sometimes in code, and they don't always come direct. And I understand where the women are coming from. Women want him to really show care and love, that if you really love me, you are supposed to see that need without me telling you. If you really love me, you are supposed to notice that I have this need and I have that need. But the man is thinking, if you really need me to help you in the house, not to help in the family or to do something there, don't expect me to know what's in your mind. I'm not a mind reader. So men don't read minds. By the way, if you have not shared this link yet, if you have not shared the link or you have not shared this message yet, I think I would advise you to go do it. This might help you, and you might want to listen to this message over and over again, and it could help a lot of people too. So let's share the message. Go ahead and share the message, please. Anyway, so men don't like codes. Men don't like codes. They want it to be decoded by you. They don't want to be guessing and be suspecting that they have to do this, what they have to do, and they have to be, struggling to find out what you are trying to say. They don't want to struggle to find out what is really happening or what you are trying to say. If you are not telling them, if you don't tell them straight on what's happening or what you mean, they will not see it. They will just go. So, for example, if you have just gone to the hairdresser or salon and you've just done your hair and you are expecting him to notice it and he didn't notice it, tell him that you've just done your hair. Let him notice it, and then he will see it. Don't say, okay, he will praise you. Or if you've just won another, maybe you've just lost some weight and he didn't see it and you want him to see it, tell him about it. Tell him that I've lost 5 kilograms. Oh, yeah, then he will praise you for it. Or maybe you are sick and you are just lying there. You want him to suspect that you are sick, but he's not suspecting. You better tell him that you are sick, that you are not feeling good. So be more direct with him. If you have any need, let him, and you are expecting him to see the need by himself, he might not see it. He's just living his own life. He just continues he doesn't see it. Or maybe, just let him know that you have that need. And, you want him to help you in the house and he's not even thinking about it. Open your mouth and tell him about it. Tell him that you want to help. You need his help. So men like direct talk like that. They want you to say it. They don't want to be put in a situation whereby they are guessing and suspecting. They are living their own lives. They are not saying anything. So come out clear, come out plain, and let him know what you need. Okay, that is another thing that women do that men don't like or that drive the men crazy. Okay. Monica said, Pastor Sunday, women don't like to just say things as it is, because when you already know your man, you just decide to be tactful in telling him things. Some men are not observant at all. That's not good, sir. Oh, yeah. I agree that that's not good, and I agree with you that the men are, they are supposed to be more observant. They are supposed to notice their wives and things like that, but since they are not, so what are you left with? You help him out. Help him out. Men are just one-way traffic sometimes, so help them out. But since I'm talking to the women this week, and that's why I'm focusing on what the women are supposed to do or to know. All right, so let me give you another one. I think I can still give you one or two more before we go. What are the other things that women do that men hate, men don't like, and drives men crazy? Men don't like hysterics. Men don't like the woman to be hysterical. Men don't like hysterical women. They don't like women that are shouting, that are, creating scandals, that are fighting, that are quarreling, that are, just shout, fighting and talking and, being hysterical, crying and causing scandal. Oh, men don't like that. That alone could drive any man away from the house. Men don't like to fight. Men don't like when women are trying to manipulate them through emotions. Men don't like it when women are trying to decide an issue by shouting at them and screaming at them and shouting them down, being hysterical. Men don't like hysterics. Especially they don't like their women, their wives' hysterics. They don't like their women or their wives to be hysterical, and they don't like her to be shouting, screaming, and especially shouting at them and screaming at them and making them to do what she wants. That is counterproductive at the end of the day for the man. Men likes peace. Men wants to come back home, to meet a peaceful wife in a peaceful atmosphere, but not in the atmosphere of the woman trying to manipulate him through her shouts and through noise and through hysterics. So men don't like hysterical women. Men don't like hysterical women, and that is one big thing. If there is anything that chases away a husband from the home or from the house more than any other thing, faster than any other thing, it is a woman that is hilarious, that is hysterical, that is scandalous. Men cannot stand it. Men cannot stand a woman that is scandalous, that is, making noise and shouting and screaming and, fighting and making noise. He cannot stand that. That is another thing that women do that drive the men crazy. Another thing that drive the men crazy that the wives do is when women use sex as an instrument of manipulation. When he cannot have his way when he wants to, and when he feels that she is just using sex as a manipulation to him or against him, when he cannot have access to his wife whenever he wants to, and the wife is always saying, she begins to do negotiation when it's time for sex. You didn't do this, you didn't do that, you remember I asked you that, you remember I asked you that, and so I cannot, and you are not, and all those things. So those things, they drive the man crazy. They drive the man crazy. And those things could also chase him away from the home. They could chase him away from the family. So we all know that, I think. Another thing, let me give you another one. Another one thing that women do that drive their husband crazy is, sometimes women have this attitude of holier than thou attitude. That is when a woman is always pointing out the sins and the weaknesses of the man, and she's presenting herself as if she's pure, she's holy, or she's more righteous, or she's more pious, or she's more religious, or she's more dignified, or that she's more closer to God, or she's more active in the church. When a man doesn't like it when a woman is having holier than thou attitude towards him, thinking that he's a sinner and she's this Holy Mary. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't, like the woman to parade her holiness and her chastity, in the home. You can parade your holiness and chastity before God, but not before Him. Not before Him. He's not interested in that. He thinks you have to be yourself and be humble and be simple, especially before Him, before the husband. So husbands don't like it when their wives, even when they are more spiritual, their wives are more spiritual and they are more righteous, he wants her to be quiet about it. He wants her to speak less about it and at least not to parade it. So that kind of thing frustrates the husband. And men don't like it. Men, it just distances you from your wife, from your husband. One of the reasons why most men don't follow their wives to church is because their wives are appearing to be holier than thou. It's because their wives are appearing to be holier than them and to be more spiritual, more holy, closer to God. So the man just wants to say, okay, I leave you to it. You do it yourself. You do all your spiritual things without me. I don't want to come follow you as if I'm the one following you, like a son following the mother. I don't want to follow you to church as if you are my boss and I'm just following you. So, the men don't like that. The men don't like that. Nkiru said, oh, Pastor, I used to think that I am the Holy Ghost in the house. Yeah. And that pushes away the men. Self-righteousness. Well, Monica said, Pastor Sunday, you can only be... okay, that's the other point. Yeah. Well, my time is over. I'm looking at the time. I think it's time now. Yeah, well, I hope this has helped you. I hope these points will go a long way to helping you. And maybe you want to listen to it. You might want to listen to it again. Or it might help your friends or your family or your children. But these things really are concerns to men. These are things that men would like their wives to know. And these are really things that bother the men. Unfortunately, we don't have too many men today. But, but I'm sure there will be a blessing to the women. If you learn these things, they will help your family. They will help your family. And if you live by them, you have a more peaceful family than if you don't know them. So thank you so much. Let me see your comments on that. Yeah, Sheung says it's true. Husbands don't appreciate having their wives with the wives that are self-righteous. Yep. Laura says, very correct, Pastor. Deborah, thank you for your wisdom. Nkiru, I tell you, it was crazy. I couldn't get him to go to church because I was playing the Holy Ghost. Yeah, those things push away the husbands. Husbands don't like that, and it pushes them away from church. Afolabi Victor said, wow, so much knowledge here. Thank you, Pastor. Okay, Shao says, well, we're here. Well, I didn't hear so much from you today. You people are just quiet. I guess you wanted me to give as many points as possible, right? The ladies are the ones who are writing. Elizabeth Olaoye said, thank you very much, sir. These things are noted. Okay. Monica said, Pastor Sunday, thanks so much. I will definitely listen to it again. I have really learned a lot. God bless you, sir. Nikki Christian say, Pastor, thank you. Lola Shurenke, thank you, Pastor Sunday. I should drink some coffee, right? Because she went and put some coffee there. Yeah, because I'm tired. Huh? I don't look as if I've woken up. Afolabi said, men are here. Okay. Shidima said, thank you, sir. Ushi Amadi, thank you, Pastor, so much. Following your footsteps. You have been a great example to me. Thank you so much, sir. Nkiru, thank you so much, Pastor. Olukayode, Pastor Sunday is always on point. My brother is saying here, Wale Vanjoko, we were listening. Mashu Esan, thanks so much, Pastor. I need to make some changes. We are guilty. All right. Okay, now. Thank you, everyone. Hope these things will help you to improve your family lives and relationships and make you better wives to your husbands. I spent 3 weeks to talk about men and the importance of men and why we need men and all that. And people were saying, when will you talk about women? I hope that women are getting their portion this week. And I think they are getting enough. They are having their hands full. Gloria said, thank you, Pastor Sunday. Adebola said, please, Pastor, present this topic the next time, sir. Women are waiting to hear too, sir. I don't understand. Adebola Kolapo, I don't understand. What topic? Present this topic the next time, sir. Women are waiting to hear too, sir. What topic? I'm talking about women. These are women topic this week. I don't understand what she said. Adebola, or Adebola. I don't understand what she's saying. Maybe you have to write something more to clarify what you meant. She, Sandra, says, God bless you, sir. You are a great leader. Esther Kuganja, thank you, Pastor, for the pearls of wisdom. Thank you. Afolabi said, these are serious points or portion. Elizabeth, thank you so much. My best mentor. I've learned so much as always. Love you lots. Kika Adetiba, thank you, Pastor. Paul David, thank you, sir. Blessings, Sharon, blessings. Thank you, sir. Adebola is clarifying a question. Present it the other way around. I mean, what makes ladies crazy? Oh, I've already done that. Maybe you are just coming in. Maybe you were not here the last 1-2 months. If you go through the list, you see the list of the messages that I've preached. They are somewhere there in the link. You find the link either in one of the comments here or in the beginning of this broadcast. You will see the list. Go to the list of the last 2-3 weeks of my broadcast. You will see that I've spoken a lot about what men are supposed to do not to make the woman crazy, or how they're supposed to look out for the woman. I spoke a lot about the interest of the woman. People who have been here all the time know what I'm talking about. That I had spoken to the men a lot about regarding the women. So this time is just the time I'm speaking to the women about the men. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'll be back tonight with Ask Pastor Sunday at 8 o'clock our time. And then after that, 1 hour after that, we'll do testimony time. God bless you. See you tonight. Blessings.